All right, guys, let's get some NCAA basketball picks and props for Thursday, March 7th slate of games. Trey, leaderboard. Let's take a look at it. Have you start us off?
Yeah, guys, I'm falling behind. I'm 0-1 yesterday. I gave out Central Connecticut minus 13.5 for St. Francis. This game was a tough watch for me. Central Connecticut, they were up 12 points very early in this game. And then same old with me. The collapse happened, and they still won the game, but they did not cover. Very frustrating. March Madness is coming up. And I got to start tuning in the dials and just fixing what's going wrong. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, that was a tough loss there. I went 1-0 on the day. I won 75% of a unit. I put 25% on the money line. I gave out Central Florida plus 8.5 going up against those Houston Cougars, the number one team in the nation. Central Florida, very competitive through about 32 minutes of the game. Houston just took over late. They almost blew the cover, but Central Florida, they did cover. Houston missed a couple free throws down the stretch. So we did get the plus 8.5 cover. 1-0 day there. Trey, let's go with the props. Have you start us off?
I did get a win on the props at least. I gave out Bears boy Dalton Connect over 22.5 points versus South Carolina. Connect, he scored 26 points in this game, and it was awesome. He simply just shoots the ball so much. It's hard for him not to have a great game. He shot 39% from the field and still scored 26 points. So it is what it is.
He's the man. I gave out Eric Dixon of Villanova to go over 15.5 points. Dixon, he was dominating this game. 14 points at the 12-minute mark in the second half, and then nothing the rest of the game. Nothing for the last 12 minutes of the game. Seton Hall ran away with it, and we lost by a hook on the player prop. 0-1 day. Trey, let's go to the group play. I felt really bad giving you this loss because South Carolina, they battled so hard. You should have got the cover in this game, but the Tennessee-South Carolina game did go under by a mile. Tennessee pulled it out. I think it was by 7, maybe 6. I think he had plus 5.5. So they only lost by a couple points on the spread. But 1-0 day for myself on the group play, 0-1 for yourself. Let's go to the group play for tomorrow. Looking in the Big Ten, couple teams who have been dreadful over the last couple games. Wisconsin at home, laying 9.5. Rutgers over under 132.5 here. I'll have you start. I want to hear what you have to say.
This is a weird line, as Bear likes to say, and I am interested to see where he's going to go because I know he doesn't have too much confidence in Rutgers right now, but I know he's also a guy that says it's hard to beat a team by 9.5 when the total is this low. So I'm going to go with Rutgers here, plus 9.5. I feel like they're going to be able to score enough points to keep this game competitive. I feel like this game is going to be whichever team reaches 60 points first is going to win. But I feel like Rutgers isn't going to trail that far behind. I think this game's going to be competitive. I do love all the players on Wisconsin. I love Chucky Hepburn. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Scarlet Knights are going to play tough and try to finish the regular season strong.
Yeah, I love Wisconsin, and I've got a problem betting them. But like you said, the over-under is 132.5. They're laying 9.5. They haven't covered the spread in 5 consecutive games. They've been one of the worst teams in the Big Ten over the last several games. So even though Rutgers is on the road, which they are horrible on the road, the numbers offensively go way down for them. I'm still going to take the plus 9.5. If they can muck this game much, which I think they will, the defense is really good. The defense of Wisconsin is not bad either. So I think this game's going to be mucked up, going to be like a 57-63 final in favor of Wisconsin. So we'll take the points. Plus 9.5 has to play. We'll both take Rutgers in this spot. Let's go to our plays for tomorrow. Have you start us off?
Yeah, guys, and I'm going to be talking about this Texas State going up against Southern Miss game, and this is going to be an entertaining game to watch. Both teams, they've enjoyed decent seasons so far, and this marks the second round of the Sun Belt Conference tournament. In Texas State, they already played in the first round, and they beat Old Dominion by 9 points. And Southern Miss, they finished the regular season with a 9-9 conference record, and these two teams, they've already played twice this year, and the home team won and covered both those games. And with this being a neutral site game, I expect this game to be a battle, and with both teams being minus 110 on the money line, it's essentially a pick 'em here. And I'm going to be going with Texas State here on the money line at minus 110. I love that this game is essentially a pick 'em because, in my opinion, Texas State's just a better team. Their defense is very impressive. It's ranked just outside the top 100 according to the KenPom, and the Bobcats. They do that because they force a ton of turnovers per game. But more importantly for us, they take care of the basketball too. Texas State, they're ranked in the top 50 in the country in assist to turnover ratio. And Texas State, offensively, they live at the free throw line. So if they can muck up this game, I expect them to win this fist fight. And especially since Texas State, they've already played one game in the tournament. So they're going to be coming to this game confident, but more importantly for us, comfortable. And the Bobcats, they played the 35th hardest non-conference schedule earlier in this season, and that's prepared them for this moment. And they're going to win in advance and play another game. So give me Texas State here on the money line versus Southern Miss.
Yeah, Trey, I like the play there for you. For my play today, we're going to be looking at the Horizon League for their conference tournament. I was shedding some tears yesterday for Detroit Mercy. They're sitting at 1-31 overall in the season. The hospital, as they're called. They only had a 4-point loss to Milwaukee in the first round. I was hoping they could make a run in this tournament, but they did not. They lost. But today we're going to be looking at a couple teams who have a legitimate shot to win this conference and maybe potential to win a game in the NCAA tournament. I think Wright State's a very dangerous team. If they can win this conference, they can get a good matchup in the NCAA tournament. They've had a couple players on their team who are very good scorers, averaging over 18 points per game. It kind of reminds me of like a C.J. McCollum from Lehigh, but instead of one C.J. McCollum, they have two, Trey Calvin and Tanner Holden, both fantastic players for Wright State. I think they win this conference, but I cannot take them -7. I'm going to back Northern Kentucky here +7.5. Northern Kentucky has fought very hard against Wright State this season in 2 of their games. They lost by 7 and 6. Everybody knows the third time around, going up against the same team is always the toughest. And usually if one of those teams has 2 wins in a row in the same season, the third game typically goes to the team who's lost the first 2 if both teams are very competitive. These teams played the last game of the regular season just 5 days ago. The final score, 94-88 in favor of Wright State. And just like Wright State, Northern Kentucky has a pure scorer as well in Marquez Warwick, who's averaging 19.9 points per game, the 33rd best in the nation. I think it's going to be a very competitive game third time around, so I'm going to take the points with Northern Kentucky as the play. Too many points. I think Wright State advances, Northern Kentucky covers. Give me Northern Kentucky +7.5 as the play. Trez, go to the props. Have you start us off?
Yeah, guys, I'm excited to talk about my prop. That's because it's going to be Myles Rice to go over his points versus Washington. I really love this over for Rice in this game because I think that we're going to see him turn it up in this home game. And this game being at home is one reason why I love this play, because we've seen Rice play very good at home this year. He's playing more minutes, taking more shots, and shooting way more efficiently at home. And that's in tune to an average of 16.1 points per game. But I expect him to turn it up a little bit more and put some extra spice in this game because this is a rivalry game for Rice. The Apple Cup battle between Washington and Washington State is always intense. And I believe that's going to fuel Rice to have an even better game here at home because he just beat both Los Angeles teams over the weekend in USC and UCLA. And he averaged 17 points per game over those 2 games. And we're going to see him score the buckets throughout this one too. So give me Myles Rice to go over his points versus Washington.
Yeah, Trey, I like the play there. For my play today, I'm going to be looking at Oumar Ballo to go under his total points going up against UCLA. Ballo is a monster for the Arizona Wildcats, but in this game, I think he's going to be a little bit off going up against UCLA. And the first match against UCLA, he did have a pretty good day. He scored 17 points, but I think he's going to go under that number in this game because in the first matchup against UCLA, there was a bunch of foul trouble. UCLA is very dependent on Adem Bona to stay out of foul trouble because he's their energy guy and he's their big man who controls the paint. In the last matchup against Arizona, he only played 24 minutes. He fouled out of that game with 5 fouls. And of course, whenever your big man fouls out, the best thing to do for the other teams is go straight to the paint. And that's what Arizona did with Ballo. He scored 17 points in that game. The big man for Arizona is very efficient, but he is not looked at a ton, only taking double-digit shots 6 times the entire season. I do think his looks are going to be a little bit more limited in this game going up against the bigs of UCLA if they can stay on the floor. And Ballo has scored double-digit points in 10 consecutive games, and he might even get to 10-plus points in this game, but I don't think he gets much more than 12. Arizona has a ton of players on the floor that can score, and if UCLA is locking down the paint and not in foul trouble, he might not see a ton of action. Give me Oumar Ballo to go under his total points against UCLA as the play. Trey, let's go to the graphics. Have you start us off?
Yeah, guys, I'm going to go with Texas State here on the money line versus Southern Miss. They're the better team. They've already played a game in the conference tournament, so they're going to be confident coming into this one. I love the play. Also going with Myles Rice over his points versus Washington. He's going to be coming in this rivalry game with some extra juice at home, looking to show up for the baddies.
Yeah, I'm going Oumar Ballo to go under his total points against UCLA, finally playing an under. I'm tired of getting screwed on the hooks on the over. And then Northern Kentucky +7.5 against Wright State. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think either team can really win, really. But in the end, Wright State's going to pull it off. Northern Kentucky covers the spread. Guys, that's going to do it for the NCAA plays and props for Thursday, March 7th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure drop a like in this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching. Super Bowl. We also have 12,000 subs coming right around the bend. We're at 10,200. We're going to give away 2 tickets to anybody to any game they want. NBA, NFL, college basketball. It doesn't matter. We can wait until the new season for NFL. Any game you want to go, whenever we get to 12K, we're going to have that giveaway coming up as well. Leaderboard. We had multiple questions this morning about how to become a member for the YouTube channel. Let's do that really quick tutorial. You're going to go to youtube.com. You're going to go to Bears Profit Plays. You're going to search it in. You're going to hit our thing. There's a join button right just to the right of subscribe. You can click that. There's 2 options. You have the Bear Pack for $4.99. That gives you access to YouTube member plays. And then you have the Bear Pack Gold for $7.99 a month. That gives you access to our member plays on YouTube, and it gives you a 1-month membership to our website, bearsprofitplays.com. So if you get the Bear Pack Gold, you save yourself $2 a month, a little bit cheaper if you want to do that. But that is the tutorial for anybody that needed it. We had multiple questions today through email about how to do it, and it wasn't working. But if you want to know, there it is right there. Trey,